All right, in this video, we're going to record the rational inequalities take-home quiz that I told you to take home since we weren't able to finish at the end of class and to complete. And then you can see how to solve these questions. The first one is x plus 3 over x minus 2 greater than or equal to 0. So you have 0 on the right, and we have one term on the left. So all we need now are the critical points. From the numerator, we have, this is in my way. We have x equals -3, and it's going to be closed because of that equal bar right there. And from the denominator, we have x equals 2, and it's going to be open. So then you grab your number line, and -3 comes first, and then 2. And now you have to test 3 regions, A, B, and C. And the numbers that we're going to pick are a number to the left of -3, -4, number to the in between -3 and 2, 0, greater than 2, 3. So I'm going to go ahead and test region A, B, and C. And I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to work out all the tests, and then I'm going to start the video again. All right, I did all my tests, and I got for A that it's a true statement because I got 0.17, that's bigger than 0. B is false, and C is true. And, pause the video if you haven't done it and double check if you got different numbers than I did. But then that means that region A gets a line with an arrow because it's going towards -infinity. Nothing, and then region C also gets a line. All right, now you have to write interval notation, and this line starts at -infinity, and it ends at -3. All right, and they're both, this is open. And then the next line starts at 2 and ends at +infinity. All right, so this would be the answer to number 1. All right, problem number 2 is this one. And then you have to check, do you have 0 on the right? Yes. Do you have one term on the left? Yes. But you might notice that your numerator needs to be factored. So you have to think about doing that calculation on the side. X squared minus 5x minus 14. I need two numbers that multiply to -14 but add up to -5. That would be -7 times 2, because -7 plus 2 is -5. So this can really be rewritten as x minus 7, x plus 2 over x plus 1. And this is the one that I'm going to be using. All right, I have 0 on the right, one term on the left, and now I need my critical points. And from the numerator, I have x equals 7, x equals -2, so I got 2 of them, and they are open because there's no equal bar here. From the denominator, I have x equals -1, and it's always open because it's the denominator. Then I go ahead and I get my number line ready. And the first one is -2, -1, and 7. All of them are open because there's no equal bar. And let me check the first problem. I made a mistake in the first problem, didn't I? Why don't you guys say something? Oh, that's right, I can't hear you guys. -3 we said was closed, and I forgot to close this circle, see? Which means this is not a parentheses. It is a bracket. I think that's the only mistake. Yeah, that should be it. Oh, if you find another one, let me know by email. Email. All right, all of these are open, so that won't matter. All right, so we need to create the regions and we need to pick the numbers. Right here, this is region A, B, C, and D. And the numbers that we're going to pick are, what's the number to the left of -2? What happened to the mouse? There it is. The mouse disappears from time to time. -3, between -2 and -1, -1.5, between -1 and 7, 0, greater than 7, 8. So I am going to test all of these points, and you should do the same. And I'm going to pause the video and get all of the tests done, and then I'll start the video again. Okay, I'm done with the testing, and for region A, I found it to be false. Region B is true, so I'm going to go ahead and sketch that line. C is false, and region D is true. All right. Take a minute and make sure that you compare your results with mine on the testing, okay? Now, now that you've done the number line sketch, you have to write your interval notation. Now focus on how many lines you sketched. You sketched 2 lines, one in region B and one in region D. Well, the one from B starts at -2, ends at -1. And since they're both open circles, you're going to get parentheses. The next line you sketched starts at 7 and ends, well, it goes without bound. So we say infinity. It's an open circle. Infinity gets parentheses. And this would be the answer to number 2 with a little bit of factoring. All right, so now we're going to work on number 3. All right, when you look at number 3, you see that you have 0 on the right and that you have 1 term on the left. Remember, 1 fraction bar means 1 term. But you should notice that your denominator needs to be factored. It looks like a case 1. So then you factor it. We need 2 numbers that multiply to 9 but add up to -6. So that would be -3 times -3. So this is x minus 3, x minus 3. All right, rewriting this. Oh, did I just put that in the wrong place? I apologize about that. This is video interrupted. I'm having to get up and do different things. All right, focus back on. So this factors into this. And this is the one we're going to use. This is the one that has 0 on the right and 1 term on the left. Now we have to get our critical points. From the numerator, we get x equals -2, and it's an open circle. And from the denominator, we get x equals 3. Only once, because it repeats open. Now we need a number line. -2, 3, both of them are open. And now this creates 3 regions. Yay, only 3 this time. And let's pick the numbers that we're going to test. To the left of -2, we have a -3. Between -2 and 3, we have 0. And greater than 3, we have 4. So I'm going to go ahead and test the regions. And you do the same. So I'm going to pause the video right now. All right, so I finished the tests, and you can see that for region A, I got true, region B, I got false, and region C, I got false. This is something that's happened very often, except when you have multiple critical points from the denominator. So this means that for region A, we're going to sketch a line, and then, but we don't have lines in B or C. This is why you have to test every single region, see? And this usually happens when you have multiple points in the denominator. If you only have 1 critical point from the denominator, then it's not going to happen. So where does this start? This starts at -infinity, ends at -2, and they're both parentheses. And that's the only interval that you have. So that would be the answer for this one. So now let's work on number 4. All right, this is problem number 4, and this one has 0 on the right, 1 term on the left, and it also requires factoring, but this is differences of squares, and we can do this very quickly. X squared minus 1 factors into x plus 1, x minus 1, and x squared minus 4 factors into x plus 2, x minus 2. So this is the one that we're going to use. It's going to give us critical points. Critical points from the numerator are going to be a 1 and a -1, and they are closed. Critical points from the denominator are going to be a 2 and a -2, and they are open. I'm going to put them on the number line. So we have -2, -1, 1, and 2. And the ones that are closed are 1 and -1. I remembered this time. And this is going to create multiple regions of which you will have to test. So we have region A, region B, can't make the B, C, D, and E. And the numbers that we're going to pick are, to the left, -3, in between, -1.5, in between -1 and 1, 0, between 1 and 2, +1.5, greater than 2, 3. All right, start getting ready. You have to test all your regions. A, B, why am I squeezing this in here since I have the entire board to do my tests? Pen. All right, I'm going to test A, B, C. All right, I'm pausing the video. All right, I finished all the testing, and what I found was that I only get a true statement in region B and in region D. So I'm going to go in and shade region B and region D. And then I have to write the interval notation. So that starts at -2. And from -2 to -1, this is an open circle, so it gets parentheses. This one's a closed circle, so it gets a bracket. And the other one, it starts at 1 and goes all the way to 2. This one's a closed circle, and this one's an open circle. And you just put a U in the middle. And this will be the answer to number 4. All right, if you have any questions on this, send me an email. If I made a mistake, please send me an email so that I can fix it on the video. And make sure that that you're studying for the test and keep up with all of the playlists, okay? Thank you.